standings.
Let's find out, man. It's Battleground time. What Battleground are we going to for game number 4? Dig with the lead is going to also get the pick as Expert elects to go into first pick. We are doing Towers of Doom.
I don't really think that Expert minds that too much. That's a map where both of the teams are strong at.
Yep.
So it's not really one of those maps where it's like, oh my god, they brought us to Towers of Doom. This is one where Expert says, okay, this is fine. We can deal with this. This is definitely a map where we can make it work. But again, there's so many heroes that are strong here. We're talking again about Abathar, ETC, Dehaka, the globals in general. This is going to be a good one.
You know what I missed from Dignitas? For a while, they were trying to run Abathar Zul'jin for a few weeks in Phase 1. I want that. I want that to come back.
Okay.
There you go. This is my random thought of the day. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Dude, that was such a cool strategy, man. They would all in with the Zul'jin, and if you didn't completely kill them off, you just shredded through them.
Yeah, if you say so. I don't want that back.
I missed it, man.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, okay, but for me, it's just like, nope.
You're like, I'm happy for you. Continuing on.
I'm happy for you. Let's continue.
Well, Abathar, Dehaka, the Illidan's, even the Vikings have been seen here from ADRD in the past. It's been one that we haven't dived into too much. I think the last time we saw it was Western Clash, but it's only been 2 weeks so far.
Yeah, I like Vikings every now and then. I don't want them to become
a staple.
Yeah, not one of those heroes that you expect on a map, like always it's going to be that pick. But every now and then seeing a Viking in play or any kind of, I mean, even a Zagara, for example, try to play something around like Nidus Network. I think that's kind of fun. It's falling off more and more, and I absolutely understand why, but it was just awesome to see what a player can do in Vikings. Because Vikings, to me, is still one of those characters that just requires a completely different playstyle, and especially attempting to communicate while playing Vikings is always a bit of a chore. So that always brought a smile to my face, especially since most of the Vikings players seem to be former RTS Pro players, which is a little bit of a throwback for me, so I kind of enjoy that. But I don't think they're going to make a big appearance here, even though Expert has played them in the past. We have a few different heroes to focus on right now, and that's, of course, once again, ETC and Dehaka with possible bans on Uther, Tassadar. Heroes that just, for Dignitas, played a massive role so far and had a huge impact.
Both the wins for Dignitas so far today, I know it's a small sample size, have had ETC as their first pick and getting to move into, just showing, again, how strong they are with that hero. And Team Expert, we'll see if they can break that trend. They're going to ban out ETC.
I like it. Medivh immediately. This is one of the cool things when your opponent has one core hero, which they excel. You don't have to think about your ban anymore.
Yeah.
You just immediately throw it out. It's like, okay, let's get rid of that.
But they pass on Dehaka and grab Tassadar.
Okay, so Tassadar taken. I would have expected
Dehaka.
I mean, again, my first thought would have been Dehaka as well, but do I really mind Tassadar? Because the thing is, if you pick Dehaka, then the chances that Dignitas picks Tassadar pretty high, and then you are probably facing a Tassadar and Tracer combo. Now Expert can play Tassadar Tracer if they want, and they can even ban out Varian.
Does Team Expert move it, or do they move into Illidan, though? Because Team Expert has shown it on this battleground. They like pushing into Hawkins when they get the chance here, and this could be the battleground for it to pull off.
Abathar is open, Tracer is open.
Yeah.
Can ban, like, Abathar can counter soak Dehaka to an extent. Doesn't have the same push power, of course, but there's still things that you can do with it. On the other hand, they usually play ADRD on Tassadar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a few things that you can definitely do at this point, but I want to still see what are they comboing off with Tassadar, and I think a Tracer is likely in the setup. If you go for Tracer, you would probably ban out Varian, since Dignitas has already shown that they are liking to play Varian here when the situation demands it.
So I think if they do move into the Tracer, I'd like to see a Nubarak. I want to see some control there for the Genji to make sure you have that Cocoon up and available. Give Bad Benny the engage he wants to. It's going to be the Tracer.
There we go.
And Uther.
All right, I like that. So Uther taken. I mean, Uther already takes away the Divine Shield for the Dragon Blade. That's great already. And of course, you save also Tracer, so it's a good combo with Tassadar. It's a good start into this. Now you can think about a variant ban if you want to. I think the start for Expert is pretty crisp, pretty clear what they're trying to do here. I don't mind what they're attempting here to do at all. Yes, they gave up Dehaka, but they got something very valuable for themselves in return.
Is there any tanks that Dignitas should worry about that they might want to get rid of here to make sure that it doesn't come their way?
Nothing that immediately comes to mind. We have a variety of really good tanks that can be played for X, but there's so many good tanks that are currently viable in the meta, so I don't think that you necessarily need to ban something out. You mentioned Nubarak earlier. That is something that you can definitely get rid of if you are a bit cautious about it, if you're afraid of it, so that would probably be one.
Dignitas still thinking about this one right now. What would they like to get rid of here? Also, when you have a Tracer, typically you're going to try and move to some wave clear in that solo lane. Is there any solo lanes that may jump out for them? They decide that Arthas might be one that they don't want to face off against.
So Arthur's taken out. Aetherius has a variety of heroes he can play here. An Expert apparently not too worried about a potential variant, but instead just simply saying, you know what, we have Uther, let's make sure that you don't get Rhaegar. It's fair.
They have Cleanse now, and they have Divine Shield. They can save that Tracer if need be. Decide to get rid of the Rhaegar to make sure that their double front line with the Dahaka and whatever impending tank is coming isn't as bolstered as you normally see. Also, the Ancestor Healing into Genji. That's actually a really good ban. It all works out completely with Dignitas would be getting soon.
Yeah, the ban is definitely a good one. It allows Dignitas to go into variant if they want, but at the same time, Expert feels probably pretty solid with Tassadar, with Uther. We also have not seen any follow-up potential yet for Taunt. That's also a big thing to consider here. Of course, when we're talking about Mena, then the question is again, are we going to see a mage? Li Ming, for example, could also be played here. Could go into... I mean, no matter what kind of hero you play right now, Tassadar is definitely going to attempt to put the pressure on you. So you have to be careful about that. But there's Varian and Abathar is taken together with that.
Varian Abathar.
So the solo lane is already lost. For Team Expert. That you know that already. If you move too far out in the solo lane, there's a good chance that Abathar jumps in. Abathar the Haka is extremely scary. One good drag when Abathar just moves in with the symbiote and you are going to lose half your hit points. Leoric is going to be the one at the top. Nice. Has a bit of an easier time escaping. Can play a royal focus build here as well. Has definitely the potential to push them back. And what's going to be the main tank for them?
It's just funny when you said that. Oh, the top lane's lost. I just heard that in a Thorough's voice because he said that at the Western Clash. He's like, I'm so used to just losing my top lane because they stack it so hard that I just let Team Expert win. He was so tilted by how much he's been in 2v1s lately.
I mean, I can understand that. Think about it. You are the solo laner for your team, so you expect to be the one guy that has so much pressure on him. You have a huge impact. And then every single time you have an Abathar on the opponent's side, it's just like, yep, that doesn't work out anymore. I'm already, like, this is already gone. Whenever I am starting to win my lane, Abathar is going to jump top and help out, and then I'm done for.
Stitch is picked up here for Team Expert, looking for that combo into the Uther stun. Hitting that on targets is always a joy and a good way to disperse of them. Dignitas now looking for their 5th pickup. Gonna need a support.
Yeah. I mean...
I know how to draft.
Most people will like a support right now. Myself included.
I think I like it.
So
I think the idea of a support works here. Yeah.
I'm just wondering which one they're going to go for. Our main spots are gone. You're not going to pick an Oriel here. They picked Karazim earlier. We've seen Dignitas even on different maps, granted, with Morales being played.
They seem to love the Karazim with the Varian. They've shown that a few times. That seems to be the trend. But that does make them quite melee heavy. They pick Brightwing.
Okay, against Tracer. But again, I said it before and I say it again. There is this little hole in my brain where other people have Brightwing. Whenever we talk about supports, that hero just doesn't come to me until it's chosen. For some reason. If you would have asked me, list all the supports that are still available, I would not have come up with Brightwing. I don't know what it is, but that's every single time when Brightwing comes in, I'm just like, huh, yeah.
That's a hero.
That thing actually heals. It's not only annoying, it provides healing. I keep forgetting about that.
That's a small issue, Caldor. I think you'll survive life because of that. You'll be just fine.
That's the only thing that I'm missing, that I'm good.
Well, the Brightwing is picked up, so you get the global presence. She can be put off to the side to soak up if she needs to. Also very helpful for sitting on the back line, dropping an Emerald Wind if Tracer does go in aggressively.
And you have also now heroes that can turn any 1 versus 1 into a 4 versus 1.
Ooh, yeah.
With the Haka, Brightwing, and Abathar jumping onto lanes. The one thing that they don't have for Varian is a lot of burst. Now, they have damage that can follow up after a taunt, but it's nowhere near on the level of Li Ming combo or Jaina damage. So that's something to consider here as well. They definitely have the damage output. A Varian with an Abathar hat, for example, can be extremely scary. So is a Genji or the Haka. But overall, there's not this instant follow-up where you go for a blow-up comp if you, I don't know, run Greymane with a Cursed Bullet and damage, so yeah.
Well, we'll see if it pays off here for Dignitas. They're in the lead 2-1, and they're looking for the 3-1 as we're going to Towers of Doom. Expert hoping to tie the series up.
Expert to the left. Oh, in our fourth game with Curson on Uther. Bad Benny on Stitches. We see Athero on Leoric, the Skeleton King. ADRD on Tassadar. And last but not least, zipping around on the map, it is Nick on Tracer, looking for frogs and bubbles.
On the right side and in the red, it will be Team Dignitas here. As Bakery will start off here playing the Brightwing, Dahaka played by Zelia, JPL playing the variant, Snitch on Genji, and Mene will be playing Abathur.
I'm usually not a big lore master, but I'm absolutely, I love Leoric just as a character. It's one of those heroes that was when I played Diablo 1 as a kid, just absolutely iconic to me. And I still remember half of the line that he drops whenever you enter his tomb. It was always super fun. Like having
What
that.
was it?
Huh?
What was it? I don't know the line.
The warmth of life has entered my tomb. Prepare yourself more to serve my master for eternity.
Okay.
It's one of those things that sticks with you. I don't know. It's just like you killed that guy so often. At some point, you really just remember that. So seeing Leoric in the game is just so much fun. It's like one of these things. If you play Diablo 1, you remember the butcher the first time you enter that meat shop, and you remember Leoric. So I don't know. Sometimes it's just fun.
Yeah, I remember the butcher's growls. That was my favorite line.
Fresh meat.
There you go. Team Dignitas on the bottom side, putting some pressure on already, but it's all going to be a bit of a slow game in the early side from Dignitas, where Team Expert will be the one that has the burden of trying to maybe force a fight here, because they definitely have the tools to do so.
Yeah, and that hook just tickled Genji a little bit. So this should be an interesting match. The drafts here are definitely super interesting. A lot of the pressure is going to be on Nick, but also when we're talking about Athero and Dehaka, the top lanes, Leoric here, going up against him with Abathur support then later on. That's going to be an interesting match. And yeah, with Royal Focus, he can of course soak a lot here. Question just is how much trade value is Leoric going to get because of all that mobility that Team Dignitas has currently stacked in that draft.
Yeah, they'll be looking to pick him up when they can. A variant combo, while it's here to actually handle the Tracer, using its Leoric is not a problem. His health bar is actually kind of low there. You can work on the attacks. Block will help mitigate that from Team Expert, but overextending on Leoric could be death. JPL comes in after a polymorph to put some damage on Nick and Snitch. Wanted to go for the fight. Did he miss that?
Yeah,
I think he just barely did.
That actually hit, I think.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it chunked away a pretty big part of the HP. But we have the fight now starting up, as we see in the top left, top right, the Alta's being channeled through, and down here it's just a question of interrupts. Curson actually letting it slide as the Haka was moving in, call was made, and they give it up. Now, Royal Focus has been chosen for Leoric, and that means after Lingering Apparition is being picked on level 7, he's going to have the opportunity to soak 2 lanes, which allows Team Expert to more often than not roam as 4 on the map.
That they will. They'll have their Dahaka trying to match that Dignitas on the side whenever they can, and Dahaka can do so, which will allow for Tassadar to come down. But if Tassadar needs to help out in any way with that will you work, you can run to the middle lane and help out with a few side storms. For now, he has been working on the bottom side and is working on that level 1 talent, while Stitches works on his slam build. Dignitas on the other side, it's pretty typical for a Brightwing moving into the phase shield build. Trying to get that peekaboo at level 4, gives you some vision when you want to invade into a merc camp or force a fight.
Yeah, they're currently trying to take at least a few of those sappers down, but they actually let 2 through already. Okay, third one goes down. But still a bit of damage done here. I mean, so far we haven't seen any big fights just yet. Just really just poking, looking for an opportunity, seeing if maybe with Tracer or with Genji you can hunt someone down. A lot of this is going to start around level 10, I feel, when we have Entomb as a potential lockdown when Stitches could theoretically even head into Gorge. That is actually going to be an interesting choice if he wants to go for Gorge here. Probably, I mean, you have a follow-up, but you don't have as much burst potential as Fnatic, for example, had in a previous series where they were heavily invested into Gorge comps because they were trying to isolate with the added, of course, Gust afterwards.
Be good against both, I would say, probably Brightwing and Dahaka. You can get them killed off. The future buyout would also allow for you to get the hook into keeping Variant away from the fight, which would allow for Tracer to move better. We'll see how that goes down. Bad Benny, despite not having his level 10 yet, because we're talking about it now, still falls victim in the middle.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick kill here. Dignitas has so much mobility on this, and we've talked about this a bit earlier, how they, even with Brightwing, with Abathur, can just like jump anywhere. Also, Dehaka, of course, included in this. But now we have him back for the Shrine, at least we should. So top lane, this is where we see is still Dehaka and Leoric fighting. But the one thing that Expert is missing out on is that global that Dehaka provides. Immediately the pressure against ADRD. And the channel, not contested. They are allowing it through. So that's another 4 shots fired against Team Expert. They're down to 28 points now on their core against the 36 that Dignitas still holds on to. And another fight over a camp, and is Expert giving this one up as well? It looks like it. But Benny and Kirsten are already low, and here comes a quick attempt to drop Stitches again. But the shield of Tassadar is there, and the hook hits home. But there's not enough follow-up damage to really threaten JPL.
Yeah, I'm just going to be a variant there. That was that Dehaka Brushhawker being put on full display that you were talking about. They could show up to a moment in a fight at any point, and they did so on the bottom left. And they were able to get back to the middle lane in time to soak the experience that Leoric was trying to punish with. But the Abathur also using the hat there. So Team Dignitas actually doesn't lose out on much there except for cooldowns.
Yeah, and still, Dignitas is heavily ahead in the core points. So it really seems more and more as if Expert is just trying to say, okay, boys, let's get 10. Make sure that we can get 10, and then we work from there. And Ethereal is delivering the experience. They're even slightly ahead at this point right now. And they get at the top already quite a bit of value with the towers drained of ammunition, and Ethereal is going to get those eventually. Dehaka is mirroring him as much as he can. But we still see a huge amount of aggression coming from Varian moving in, and that's even without taunt.
Should be seeing an altar soon here. Spawning, it should be around the 9.5, 9.75 that you normally see here when it comes to the levels for our teams. I think both teams at this point should be able to get 10 before that altar does fully come online, and that will allow for them to force those fights. And I'm curious, you mentioned it, Team Expert seems to be holding on for that 10. Will they move in for the fight right away, or are they going to wait for tributes?
I mean, for me, it's like they need Archon on Tassadar. I don't think that they're going to commit to a force wall here. The extra damage would definitely help them out, since currently they are banking a lot of their hopes into Tracer alone. And there we have the 10 already. And that means that for now we have Divine Shield for Uther. Archon taken for Tassadar as expected, and it's Putrid Bile, which makes sense. You don't have that blow-up potential that you usually need if you want to go into a Gorge composition. But also ready for Dignitas are their heroic abilities. And we don't see any surprises there either.
Dehaka already working on the ult on the right side. Leoric trying to disrupt that. Going in. Taunt right away on top of Uther. Helping hand from Bad Binny will keep him alive, while Mene will go in there with the Genji.
Yeah, still to the right side. Leoric is currently fighting. And Mene lost a lot of his hit points already on the Abathur copy, so he needs to be careful. Ethereal with the Lingering Apparition is moving in deep, allowing Dehaka to let the channel go through. Mene loses the copy any second now, but Dehaka starts to burrow in, wants to go, and once more cleanse being used here, but the fight is still raging on, and Ethereal is already low, so is Uther. Needed to use the Divine Shield for himself, but Genji goes down. Nick with a kill against the Ninja.
Really amazing pulse bomb there. Bakery's low on health too, as Batty Binny was able to drop a hook there. Zilia comes in, no one gets the tongue on Tracer. She's low on health, but she's able to get on out. Kirsten does grab the ultra as well, and JPL will be the last one standing on the variant, but Kirsten survives with half a health point.
He somehow is able to stay alive. They go for boss, but then cancel it because they realize it's a little bit too risky with everyone being low on hit points. But that was definitely a moment when they said, guys, can we take boss here? And it was a tough decision not to use that. But yeah, Divine Shield being used here to the left. And just look at Snitch. He is getting blown up. Great kill. ADRD even coming in to help out. And then the pressure at Bakery. But he survives thanks to Mene, who comes in with the Abathur symbiote. And somehow Nick survives, and so does Uther. Just look at him moving in again, and how Kirsten all of a sudden is extremely... I mean, this is insane.
Really low there. Barely surviving. Thought about the boss for a second, decided not to. Brightwing did use Emerald Wind there to try and get that Soothing Mist proc on the Emerald Wind, but not enough to keep Genji alive. And Team Dignitas goes back at it as they engage on the bottom side, but Expert looking a little bit more confident, kiting backwards, but a drag comes in, and Stitches is dead.
Yeah, that as soon as they saw the copy attempt, they needed to move back a little bit faster. But yeah, copy is down, they lose Stitches. I mean, they're still ahead when it comes to experience. It's really all about the shots against the core, of course, and that's where we are at 24 to 32. So Dignitas is doing still a good job with the objective, and Expert have to be careful here. But they're definitely starting to show that in those team fights, they have a lot of aggressive moves. Kirsten needs to Divine Shield himself again, and that's a big problem because now another big cooldown has been burned here.
That it has. Kirsten will be able to heal up himself and Nick here. after a couple of seconds, but with the altar spawning in the next 25 seconds, we'll be able to have that one spot available for both of our teams. After this, it will be the 3 altar phase, so be aware of that. Team Dignitas and crew will be looking to get that 13. Team Expert themselves, too. Now, why was the Divine Shield used in the bottom left corner? I think Kirsten was aware that another tribute was coming soon. He wanted to make sure he got back in the fight quick enough and could maybe turn it around, but didn't work out for him.
Hmm?
The Divine Shield being used in the bottom left
I mean, he
side.
had to. He would have died.
Yeah, but maybe you could sacrifice a death there. But I thought that maybe because the altar will be spawning soon, they decided to keep him alive. Because I think you just die there, Azutha, right?
I mean, it's still experience that he give over. I would probably not try and die because the thing is, I feel Dignitas could have still pushed this farther forward. The problem is if you let Uther die here, I think there's a chance that Dignitas just says, with Stitches dead and Uther now dying, you can just simply move in and take the bell tower.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's a good move though. Yep, nice. Nice ice block here. Using also again, Uther is low and he doesn't have the Divine Shield this time and now he's dead, but the heals are still there. Brightwing falls too. Snitch is low and with the Ghost still healing continuously, there's a chance that a second kill could maybe even be used as a follow-up, but Benny gets a shield and a nice move with this Entomb that forces Zelia into a corner, but they don't have the damage output to drop him down. But that was definitely an interesting trap that we saw there.
That it was, trying to keep him locked in there. Zelia will get away, but a thorough turns around for the altar, and the team fight goes into the favor of Team Expert. And now they're getting some more points on the board here. 28-24 with Team Dignitas leading.
Yeah, they have also the Divine Shield now back since Uther has, of course, by now respawned. So that was actually a pretty decent fight for them. And this game is getting closer and closer. The experience lead still on the side of Team Expert. Abathur or no Abathur, thanks to especially Leoric with a Royal Focus build. Now also using Burning Rage so that it has even more wave clear. Makes it even easier for them to push these lanes back. And, I mean, Nick is also doing such a great job here this entire game on Tracer. His battle with Snitch has been quite a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I think Nick's one of those guys that we don't really talk as much as we should here as he gets taunted by the variant. But he continues to come in and day out and just quietly puts on a performance all the time for Expert.
Mena in the meantime is trying to soak. So does Dehaka, of course, to the top. And both of the teams now with 16s they're looking for. Athera just realizing, I don't know about this.
They just did the hoe down there, dancing it up there on the top side.
Look how fast he clears this wave. Burning Rage plus Royal Focus just obliterates wave, melts them away. And that was also, again, an attempt to drop Leoric here, but he was ready. He has a quick hook. But of course, JPL can simply walk away from this one.
So altars will be spawning soon. All 3 altars will be popping up for our teams. There it is right now in the next 27 seconds. Zelia's working on the mercs on the top side. It's all about trying to get that 16 before these tributes or altars do spawn, and then we'll be having our teams move in and work on them. Now, the global advantage here for Dehaka will be helpful, which should allow for them to try and contest at least 2 of them.
Now, this fight is actually pretty decent for Expert because, first of all, now they have Divine Shield. That was missing in the last team battle. And they have Benediction. And Benediction just can't be overstated how great a tool that is, especially if you're playing against someone that is as mobile as Genji.
Genji getting locked down there. Pretty much seals his fate as a death. Bakery grabs the Elder on the bottom side, Dehaka on the top right, and Team Expert doesn't even make an attempt at disrupting that. They just give up the 2 shots, and that's going to be a 24-16 with Dig still leading.
Interesting. That is interesting that they just didn't even attempt to fight for it. Are they seriously just trying to wait for 20?
It's possible here. Deciding maybe to fight over the solo altars themselves. Now after the 3rd phase has popped up here, that 5th one, there won't be any more here, so Team Expert will have a better chance of grouping up and forcing the fights they do want.
Yeah, it might just be that they were respecting the globals too much that they're saying, okay, it's a triple altar phase, we respect, like, the globals could really destroy this, so let's just make sure that we are giving this one up. It's 4 shots on the core, but we have much better fights fighting either for double or for single altars. And our level 20 is also something that we don't mind over theirs. So I think that has to be the thought process here. They were definitely willing to give it up, but now the global comes into play again, and the Athera is missing, is now starting to move in. Taunt already being used, the copy is in, but Mena is about to lose it, as especially Tassadar is just dropping one Strike Storm after another, and now Leoric is on his way in. Can try and see if he can maybe drop an Entomb, and does, but he only hits Zelia. Hook could be used here. Not just yet, maybe a bit of an early... Yeah, Zelia's gonna die.
Pulse bomb goes off. Yep, there it is. Dehaka gets cleaned up.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe him trying to escape here and hoping for an early hook being shot that he can dodge somehow. I'm gonna wreck my brain here, but basically that was a pretty decent kill here against him. So really well done by Expert getting it, and let's see if they can capitalize on it. They have 30 seconds where they're dominating the map now.
Yep, it's still a 4v4. Think about it, with Avatar has still being up as Leoric went to the middle lane to start soaking up. So JPL is willing to overextend a little bit here underneath that fort, maybe try to force a fight. But two ultras activating now. They want to continue to hold this bell tower, but they don't think they're going to be able to do so as Nick keeps sieging away here. JPL goes in for another engage, but Nick just slips out in time.
ADRD alone with these storms is just putting on a clinic on that structure, so there's very little that they can do. They're going to lose it eventually without their Haka. ADRD, all he has to do is drop more storms. Please don't tell, like, what? Okay, there we go. Now they get the channel through. Yeah, that's too early. That's only 4 shots. All right. Yeah.
One altar, and with Expert being at 19-17, this will be the last fight before Dignitas can fight, with them being on even footing before they hit 20. Will they decide to move in for the engage? They do. They dive in on Leoric. They put some damage on him. He turns around and applies some damage himself here with Bad Biddy. Drop the feature bio, but Leoric falls victim.
Yeah, killed by Mena, so there's also a reset for Mena, getting a bit more damage in before the copy is taken out. So that definitely happened. But we are still fighting for this one. And the Auric, of course, still offers a lot of value in his trade farm. The slow alone is pretty fantastic. Let's not forget that Avatar is working at the top in the meantime. But the camp has been taken. Now they can fight again. Here comes the push on Tracer. Divine Shield is already out, and they're moving in. They're trying to go for JPL, already very low in hit points, as Snitch is trying to get some Dragon Blade value. But these storms from ADRD are such a nuisance the entire time.
A throw is back, though, and that requires Dignitas to retreat away from the fight. They do not want to get caught there with the Entomb. Avatar was working on the top, as you mentioned, but didn't put too much of a dent into that fort. So 5 shots do go off, and now Team Expert, for the first time in this game, takes a lead, 16-15.
Bot lane, that's where it really matters now, because bot lane, that's where we have now 6 Zappers coming in pretty soon, and they can try and see if they can make a kill happen here. Just 1 hook is all you need. Zappers are down, 1, 2, 1 still remaining. They go for it, they get it, but JPL is already low. The next 3 are emerging. 1, 2, 3 shots fired. We are seeing Team Expert starting to take a significant lead. They could have even had one more point if they timed the earlier bell tower a little bit better.
16-12, and Zelio's in the top lane, working on the experience. Dignitas needs an entire level. 20 does now hit for Expert.
Yeah. Expert has a 1 level lead. They have 20 talents against 16 talents. We have 16 points on their core against 12 on Dignitas side. They can try and force a boss. They can fight for the bell towers now. They have a lot of options how they play with this. And just with the storms alone, they're already starting to pressure this bell tower here.
They're trying to find spots where they can work in little advantages, killing the well tower, trying to put their spot where they have had a hook there from the Stitches. Dignitas didn't bite. They went to the top left corner here. They see a bell tower that they could move in for if they realize their opponent's on the bottom right side. So here, holding the moment, setting up a slight trap while Zelia works on top.
Yeah, and again, it's just all about the Zapper camps. They go for it again, so they actually time it. They just farm the bot lane right now. They're saying, like, yeah, do at the top whatever you want. Even if you get the bell tower, that's fine for us, because it means we can escort another 3 shots down. And they now see the top lane, and they're saying, yes, you can take the top, we claim your middle.
Yep, they move in forward, already starting to siege down. It's down to half health already. And here's where it's a little bit on the bad news side here. The 2 ultras activate, 1 to the top left and 1 to the top right. 20 seconds.
Mena used the copy.
He did?
Yeah. Mena used the copy top.
On the Dahaka there. That means will not have a clone here for the fight for the next 45 seconds. Gonna be picking up that hive mind at 20, so he'll be able to help out with damage.
What exactly happened there? Was he threatened? Did we miss out on the map?
He may have used it to just make sure that his team could have gotten away from the fight because the Leoric came in.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever happened, the copy is down now, so they can't rely on it. And that's already the shots taken. That's 5 shots against the core. And now without the copy, they have to fight here. There's constant poke happening on the side of Tacita with 1 storm after another. And there's going to be plenty of interrupts. But eventually we're going to see a fight being forced here. Hook hits, and there's the first quick stun with follow-up damage, and Leoric is starting to make his way in as well. Keep in mind, if this one is channeled, then Dignitas is down to 2 points on the core, which means the boss can end this.
JPL is taking a lot of poke here on the side. Dahaka is maybe thinking about coming in. He finally does. He's on the back left side. JPL is down to a quarter health. Bakery's doing his best to keep him alive, using a cleanse as well. The hook comes out. JPL gets hit.
Divine Shield is used, and so is the Dragon Blade. Tracer is still there. Tacita goes down, but how about Tracer? Snitch is low, and he dies. Tracer still alive, barely, but survives. It's Leoric that falls though, which puts us into a 3 versus 3 on the map. 2 versus 2 up top, but Tracer tapped the well and is now on the way back.
Yes, that's right. She's healing on up. Kirsten will also top her off at the same time. The only way that Dignitas can actually win this fight is if they get a drag on top of Nick here. They get the drag on top of Bad Bunny. They're looking for the damage here. The Hive Mind coming in from Mane with the Avatar hat. Is it enough to help out in the fight while Nick just shells away?
No way, not with the Thero on Leoric, already draining, slowing, providing vision. That's way too much value here. Abathur is doing a decent job with this, but Thero is going to be the first one to respawn, and once he's back, they are in trouble, and they know it. Already Stitches is making his way back to tap the well too. There's just way too much. They have to give this one up. There's no way they can fight this.
There will be a clone in the next couple of seconds. Okay, they decide to go ahead and give it up. So now we have Dignitas down to 2 shots.
Okay, here what they achieved. They actually delayed it. So they couldn't win it, they knew that, but they delayed it long enough that the boss is not becoming an immediate problem. It's still an issue, but it's not going to become an immediate GG. But Expert now has 16 points on their core against the 2 points that remain for Team Dignitas. And what is Expert doing? They claim the Sappers, and with that taken, they can now make a play for boss, or they can simply fight at the bot lane.
6 Sappers being grabbed for Team Expert. They're grabbing the 3 on the right side. Nick goes in. He does find Snitch. Hook is going to get cleansed out, or was that actually a Locust that stopped that from happening? It was a Locust blocking out on the Hook. Cleanse was utilized though from Brightwing.
Yeah, they're trying to clear this. We have already Leoric on the way back down. They're trying to escort 2 through. It's all that they have to do here. Tracer being attacked. There's no way they get that kill. There's no way. Tracer survives. Archon being used. Here's the fight that we've been waiting for. Leoric is on this way already. The Sappers up at the front. Continuous wins being used by Bakery. They're trying to take them down. Is a Hook going to connect here? 2 Sappers still there. Zelia is low. Genji is down. Zelia is about to fall as well. He should die to this, and indeed he does. It's a double kill. 1 point on the core. Dignitas barely survives, but now there are 2 members down, and we have the boss at the top lane. Team Expert is making their way top, and Dignitas has to go for a Hail Mary defense to try and somehow turn this around.
With a Brightwing and a Variant and an Abathur hat, can they do it? Can they stop this 5-man with an Archon still off for ADRD? The boss has been shredded down to half health. JPL and Mane will start to move in here with the Variant.
Double Variant.
Jump on top, they look at Nick, but Nick gets polymorph, but there's no damage. They can't do anything about him.
They don't have enough, and Bakery's in trouble. Nick is already on top of Brightwing, going for it once again. Brightwing is down, so is Variant, and this is game as Team Expert ties it again. They claim the boss, the shots are fired, and a sad Abathur watches the core go down as Team Expert claims victory.
Very similar to the first time these two matched up in phase number 2. We're getting to game number 5, and what a great way to end your Sunday as we are all tied up. Expert, man, they find the moment in the middle of the game, get a couple of pickoffs, continue to apply slight pressure, and find a moment where they eventually break Dignitas and get a victory.
And my Sunday, give game 5 for Riot, my friend.
That's right, man. I'm so ready for it, man. The end of your Sunday here for EU. We get another game 5, which is going to be fantastic to watch here. Let's go ahead and go to commercial. We'll be right back with the amazing ending to this series.